also to help you and support you the initiatives of WynActive and Wyndham City. Hi and welcome to the latest WynActive webcast. We're in for an exciting week. We've got lots of great people to talk to, that's for sure. My name's Barry Harrison and I'm from WynActive, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce the Batman to me being Robin, I want to say Superman to me being Lois Lane, but I don't think that really suits. But anyway, my partner in crime, James Robertella. Welcome, James.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks for having us on again, and great to join you. And again, I'm always excited to meet our guests, but today more so with sport being one of my passions, and I know everyone out there is really passionate about their community sport and activity. And we're fortunate enough to have Lynn Tout, Chair of the Board and President at the Werribee Hockey Club and long-time volunteer down at President's Park, join us. Welcome, Lynn, to the WynActive webcasts.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Barry. Looking forward to having a chat today.
Lynn, I've been looking at your website today to understand the Werribee Hockey Club, and it looks like you've got a really dynamic, really engaged, community-focused club. Can you tell us a little bit about the Werribee Hockey Club and how many teams, how many members, and some of the community activities you're doing or do?
Yep, thanks, Barry. Werribee Hockey Club's been in Wyndham since 1975. Being I guess not a high-profile sport, we're only fairly small. We originally started Werribee Racecourse, and now we're well entrenched at President's Park. We pride ourselves on being an inclusive club. We have, we cater for everyone at whatever level or whatever interest, religion, background, etc. We've got a great variety of people in our club. We're very family dominant. We have families that have now got third generation players. And, if the big thing about the juniors is that so many of our parents are actively engaged as well. And just even being on the sidelines and helping out, or an extra pair of hands in the canteen, it's just fantastic to see.
That's brilliant. And I know I know from our dealings in the past that you've got a wonderful committee and a wonderful group of volunteers, and we all understand that the challenges that community sport are facing at the moment, and I can see that Werribee Hockey Club are continuing to try and engage with your members out there. From that volunteering perspective and a leader of a group of volunteers, how do you sort of go about keeping them engaged, and what does that sort of look like moving forward as we begin to come out of these lockdown measures?
Yeah, I guess there's two parts to that. The first part being, how to keep them connected at the moment. The board in particular, there's 5 of us on the board, and we're fairly, we have lots of contact, albeit through technology, either emails, Zoom meetings, chats on the phone, text messages. So there's a lot of discussion going on with the board about, what will it look like? How can we plan ahead? And just making sure we're connected there, both with our parent body, Hockey Victoria, the council, and James. I've been pretty happy with the council, and I've had quite a bit of contact with council officers, so that we're very aware of what's going on from a council point of view. And the other side of it is the broader volunteer basis. I guess the majority of our contact there is through our regular updates. On our Facebook page, we are continually sharing information from Hockey Victoria, Hockey Australia around skills and whatever updates come out of there. And then on our web page as well, the board and myself are consistently, about every fortnight or thereabouts, we're putting out a bulletin about what's happening, just touching base with our members, encouraging them if they're struggling to reach out. In our last one, I shared all the resources that Wyndham City Council have about helping people who might be finding these times extremely challenging. And I also shared some of the information coming out from Hockey Victoria about a possible resume. So there's another one due out at the end of this week or early next week. And that will be hopefully a little bit more exciting in that, you know, there will have been an announcement by the Premier that maybe community sport will begin in some way or another. So using, I mean, obviously the technology, that's our major way of contacting and staying in touch with our broader volunteer group and hockey family.
Thanks, Lynn. I'm not sure whether, James, you're still there because you're frozen on my... Oh, there we go. There we are.
I'm here.
You're frozen on my screen, but good stuff. I think for me, Lynn, we're all eagerly anticipating those announcements that we're anticipating early or at the moment, and seeing what is announced and when community sport can resume, when, from my point of view, when we can open our gyms and our pools, and you know, we're all looking forward to elite sport as well, and that resuming for our own entertainment. I just want to focus on that volunteers, which I see as a really important part in local sport. But do you think local sport could survive without volunteers, Lynn?
Well, Werribee Hockey Club certainly couldn't. We run very close to the wire financially, working very hard within our community to make sure that it's not just our members, you know, footing the bill. So I have volunteers who are constantly working on sponsorship, on grants. I have volunteers connecting with other community groups and things like that, in addition to the many volunteers that just make the hockey club run, from, you know, the parents that bring the kids down to hockey, to the people who coach the teams, to the team managers, to the people that have a variety of positions in the committee. Just, you know, someone who will make sure that, you know, if the edges of the grounds are starting to get a bit tattered, that they run a broom round there or something else. People who empty the rubbish bins on a Thursday night and put them out ready for delivery. People who help in the canteen. Look, it just goes on and on. A lot of the things in a club like ours, where we have no paid personnel, you know, my board work extremely hard. We've just taken on a new treasurer, and I'm extremely grateful for Kelly for stepping into that role. And, you know, without that sort of guidance at the board level, where you've got someone who's, you know, a fully fledged accountant helping us, and then Hines, who's our secretary, making sure that we don't miss any deadlines, keeping us up to date with all the guidelines. Jason, who is our operations director, just keeping his finger in every pie. And then Holly, who's our youth and development director. But also, I mean, Holly just does everything. She's in the canteen, she's cleaning, she's running the grid. You know, it goes on. And umpires, people who come out on game days and are there from anything from 8 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning through to, you know, some nights volunteering until 7:30 at night. And it can be a very cold, bleak place at times. And without all those people doing a lot of those things that other people, you know, don't recognise, there wouldn't be any hockey. It's just vital. Volunteers are the backbone of the club.
I think that's really important, Barry, isn't it? That, we can see at local sport, and I suppose during these times, there's people behind these clubs, and it's that passion that is driving, and ultimately it's going to be the passion that sees these community clubs come back and thrive again. So no, I appreciate you sharing that, Lynn, with us, and I suppose something that we like to do here on the webcast is promote positivity and be thankful for all the good things that are happening in life, and we do that through being grateful for something. So I suppose, today we're wondering, Lynn, what you are grateful for, and what you're seeing as one of the positive things during these times.
James, I think what this has done is given us time to reflect, and I'm grateful for that time. First and foremost, I'm extremely grateful for the health of myself and the family. I mean, that's number one to me, to see my family staying healthy and during these times, which is very challenging. Like a 6-year-old granddaughter who hasn't seen any other kids for 8 weeks. How hard is it to keep those kids positive, and without being able to do simple things like, go out. And my son, who's actively involved in hockey as well, he hasn't been near a hockey club in 8 weeks, and he can't play golf, and all there is for him is work. But they're hanging in there. They're keeping my daughter and her husband. And my daughter-in-law, they're teachers, and they're working to keep their schools going and keep their kids positive, but they're also working really hard to keep their families going. I'm just so happy and grateful that they've got the health and both physically and mentally to keep that going. So health is number one. Number two, I'm grateful I'm in Australia. I think we've handled it as well as better than any other country in the world. Probably New Zealand are sitting next to us. And we're just so lucky we've been able to contain the virus like we have. Yes, there's been challenges and sacrifices to enable that to happen. But thirdly, I'm grateful for technology, because it's allowed us to be connected. It's allowed me to have FaceTime with the grandkids. It's allowed me to have Zoom meetings with the board, with Hockey Victoria, to be in contact with the council, friends, virtual dinner parties. I mean, we've been able to keep things going through technology. So they're three major things that I'm most grateful about.
Oh, Lynn, I think we can all relate to that. And, health is certainly coming up a lot when we're talking about what we're grateful for. Being in Australia as well, and I think anyone here is just so thankful for how we've handled it as from a government level right through to community level to an individual level. I think we have been amazing, and as you said, technology. Well, we couldn't do this without technology, that's for sure. What about you, James? What are you grateful for today?
Look, in line with having Lynn on today, I'm really grateful for all the volunteers out there across all the different sectors, but in particular in sport, and they give up a lot of hours, and I would be frightened to think if we totaled all those weekly hours what it would look like. But they put blood, sweat and tears into their clubs, and without that there wouldn't be these community sport opportunities. And look, I do wish them all the best moving forward, and I'm very grateful for their efforts in continuing to be connected to their members, and during these tough times, because you could easily be you could easily just think about yourself and worry about what's happening in your own four walls, but to go and think about others and keep that and keep that mindset happening and engagement happening has been great. So yeah, a shout out to all the volunteers out there at Wyndham local sport. I'm certainly grateful for your efforts. But Barry, I'm always interested to hear around what you're grateful for, and what are you finding you're grateful for today?
Yeah, always a good question. And Lynn, I'm not sure whether you know, but James and I do this every day, and sometimes it's a challenge to come up with something, but as we've spoken about, it really makes you think about how much we are grateful for. Today, I want to sort of reflect back on where we're at WynActive, and we're not starting, because we've been doing a lot of work in regards to reopening our centres. And it's not just a matter of unlocking the front door and welcoming everyone in. There are lots of different scenarios we've got to go through. And what I'm grateful for is the power of the team, the power of the group. And Lynn, you would see this all the time with your committee, in that get a group of passionate people together, and what they can do is amazing. And the ideas that they can come up with and the thinking they come up with, it really does drive everyone to achieve more and higher standards. So today, because I've been working with the WynActive team in thinking about and planning for reopening our centres, it's still a little way off, but I'm really grateful for the team and the power of the team. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, for sure. Lynn, what are some of the tips you have, or that you've adapted in your lifestyle at the moment, for coping with this isolation? You're telling me before we started that you're supposed to be in Lismore today on your way up to Cape York, and that's a big change. But so what have you done to cope with that change?
Well, generally just stay busy, and the fact that we are still at home it's made us look around a little, and just sort of, we've been confronted with all the things that we haven't done over the last 15, 20 years. As I was saying to Barry earlier, we're both very active people, and John said in the other day, I didn't realise how much time we actually spent out of the house. So the garden got away from us a bit, and painting. At the moment I'm painting this blessed picket fence that should have been done about 15 years ago. So it's become a massive task instead of just popping it up here and there, but sanding it, undercoat, 2 coats of top paint. The days have been very busy, and I think that's the key, is that I've been able to be busy. So I've had lots of gardening to do and painting to do and little projects around the house. We've been renovating our kitchen for 3 years and nothing quite happened. So at the moment, we're getting very close to that. So my friends will be just shaking their heads going, yeah, sure, we'll believe it when we see it. But I've had time to get really stuck into that. I've been helping the grandkids on with their homework or their homeschooling. As I said earlier, their parents, the 2 older ones, mum's an assistant principal with quite a big role in a big school, and her dad's also a teacher. So sometimes they're at home working on their homeschooling, and they need to ask someone a question, but both mum and dad will be in online meetings themselves. So in effect, there's no one asked. So they get onto FaceTime and ask grandma to help them with this reading task or writing task or whatever it is. So that's been a bit of fun, and I enjoy that. I guess, when you're chair of a hockey board and whatnot, there's always things to do there. I'm also involved in the Ulysses motorcycle. We're a social group for people who ride motorcycles, and I'm the secretary treasurer there, and there's things, we can't get out on our bikes. So, trying to keep people interested in other things and checking in on them. So, I've been very busy. I was surprised.
It sounds like it, Lynn. It's brilliant.
I don't know what I do when we go back to being at the hockey club, 5 out of 7 days a week.
Oh,
But
fantastic.
then again, I had told us off on a big trip, so, there were contingency plans not to have me around all the time.
So for me, what I heard then is stay busy, get those things done that you need to get done, keep yourself active, keep your mind active and your body active. And we'd have to agree with that, James.
Yeah.
Agree. And I think that's a great tip. I mean, if it means dusting off all the jobs that you couldn't have done because, regular life didn't allow that, then take that up and challenge yourself to do some different things. And I think we've heard from a lot of different people around what those new things look like and tackling the new challenges now. But no, appreciate you providing some insight on that, Lynn, and I'm sure people will certainly relate back to trying to keep busy. And if they want, they can reach out to their local sports clubs and think about volunteering, because I know there's some challenges, to re-engage these volunteers moving forward and what it looks like. So encourage anyone out there that's potentially thought about volunteering to contact their local club and think about what that impact means, because it means people getting active. And Barry, what we love first and foremost is people getting active and staying engaged. So whether that's through the wonderful facilities at WynActive and gyms and pools, or the local sports clubs and all the options out there. So appreciate you coming on board today, Lynn, and providing your insight on yourself, the Werribee Hockey Club, and all the volunteers out there in Wyndham. And we do wish them well. And appreciate you coming on board today and joining Barry and I.
James, can I sort of jump in there? Just some of the things that we're doing at the club that, probably are generic and anyone can go onto our Facebook page and have a look. We've got things like show us your skills. So it doesn't have to be hockey. It can be anything. Some of the girls have had challenges where they do a sit-up challenge for the week, or a squatting challenge for the week, things like that. We're doing those sort of things. This coming Saturday would normally have been our women's round, and we wear pink socks and support breast cancer on this weekend. So obviously we can't do that in a game. So we're having a virtual walk. People go onto our Facebook page, they can see a virtual walk, and then we are still raising money for breast cancer through that. So, they're the sort of things that anyone can do, whether they are connected to a sporting club or not. They can set themselves some of those challenges. TikTok dances, you've probably seen a lot of those. We've had a few of those with different hockey themes. Involve a stick or involve a skill, but put it into a TikTok dance, and lots of things there that people, no matter what their interests are, they can actually get involved and have a go at. It's a bit of fun.
Lynn, you're talking our language, you're talking about being active, you're talking about having fun, you're talking about being involved. I've had an absolute ball today talking and listening to you, and I love your energy and passion and enthusiasm, and I can see that the Werribee Hockey Club is in great hands. I endorse your thoughts on volunteerism. To me, it's the backbone of Australian society, and Australian society really relies on volunteerism. Thank you for your time today. Thanks, James.
Barry, can I just add one thing? And I should have said that right up front. Volunteering's not a one-way thing. I've actively been volunteering in hockey for 50 years. And I've got more back by volunteering than I've ever given. It's, if I didn't have the hockey club, particularly, at times like this or at any time, I wouldn't be busy. My mind wouldn't be being challenged now that I'm retired. The friendships that you make through these type of things I've been very fortunate with my hockey, and I've been able to make friends all around Australia. I've been able to travel with my hockey. But people need to understand it. Volunteering is not just a one-way thing. It's not just the club using your time. You actually get a lot of satisfaction and develop a lot of friendships and develop connections that you wouldn't otherwise. So anyone who's thinking about, I can't do anything, there's always something to do. And it just being down at a club and, helping out by 2-minute a session in the canteen or something, you'll make connections, you'll make friends, and your time will be used valuable, and that helps your own feeling of well-being. So I actively encourage people to volunteer whatever they can.
Fantastic. You won't get any arguments from us.
No.
Just super stuff. Once again, thanks very much for today. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Barry.
Everybody, we look forward to talking to more people over the coming days and weeks. James and I are, as we've said, having a ball. Look after yourself, stay safe, keep smiling, and most of all, look after each other. See you soon.
Yep. Bye.